What if your financial future depends on decisions you haven't made yet? Imagine waking up one day realizing money is finally working for you, not because you got lucky, but because you learned something powerful early. Most people wait too long before understanding how investing truly works, and by then they've already lost years of potential growth and freedom. So let me ask you something important before we go any further today. Are you controlling your money, or is your money quietly controlling you? This question might feel uncomfortable, but it reveals a deeper financial truth, because beginners often believe investing is complicated, risky, or only for experts. But that belief is exactly what keeps them stuck in financial stagnation. The truth is, investing isn't reserved for the wealthy or highly educated. It's a skill anyone can learn with the right mindset and guidance. And once you understand it, everything about money begins to change. Suddenly, saving feels purposeful, and your goals start becoming realistically achievable. You stop worrying about survival and begin thinking about long-term financial freedom. But here's the problem most beginners face when starting their journey. They get overwhelmed by endless advice, confusing terms, and conflicting strategies online. One person says buy stocks, another says invest in real estate immediately. Some recommend crypto, while others warn you to avoid it completely. This confusion often leads to inaction, which is the biggest financial mistake, because doing nothing guarantees you miss out on growth and opportunity. Meanwhile, inflation silently reduces the value of your hard-earned money daily, so staying still is actually riskier than making smart, calculated investment decisions. But don't worry, because today we're simplifying everything for you. No complicated jargon, no overwhelming theories, just practical strategies that actually work, strategies designed specifically for beginners who want clarity and confidence immediately, because the first step in investing is not money, it's understanding. Once you understand the basics, everything else becomes easier and less intimidating. You begin to see opportunities where others only see risk and uncertainty, and that shift in perspective changes how you approach every financial decision. Now imagine having a clear roadmap instead of random guesses about investing. Imagine knowing exactly where to start and why it makes sense. That clarity removes fear and replaces it with confidence and excitement, because confidence comes from knowing you're making informed, strategic decisions consistently. And that's what separates successful investors from those who always hesitate. It's not about being smarter, it's about being more prepared and consistent. The good news is you don't need years of experience to start. You just need the right strategies tailored for beginners like you. Strategies that minimize risk while maximizing learning and long-term growth potential, because investing is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a long-term game, and those who understand this early gain a massive advantage over others. So instead of chasing shortcuts, we focus on building strong financial foundations that grow steadily and support your future goals without unnecessary stress. Think of it like planting seeds that will grow into financial security later, but you must choose the right seeds and plant them correctly. That's exactly what you're about to learn in this journey together. 3 powerful strategies that beginners can start using immediately with confidence, each one designed to help you grow without feeling overwhelmed or confused. And more importantly, they will change how you see money forever, because once you understand investing, you stop trading time only for income. You begin building systems that generate wealth even while you rest. That's when life starts giving you options instead of constant pressure. And those options create freedom, which is the ultimate goal of investing. So stay with me, because what comes next will shift your mindset. Let's now dive into the first strategy that beginners often overlook completely. Let's begin with the first strategy that quietly builds wealth over time. It's simple, powerful, and often ignored because it doesn't look exciting initially. This strategy is called consistent investing, also known as dollar cost averaging. Instead of waiting for perfect timing, you invest small amounts regularly, weekly, monthly, or however your income allows. You stay consistent always. This removes the pressure of trying to predict unpredictable market movements, because truthfully, even experts struggle to perfectly time the market consistently. But consistency beats timing when patience becomes your greatest financial advantage. Then imagine investing a fixed amount every month, regardless of market conditions. Sometimes prices are high, and sometimes they drop unexpectedly without warning. But over time, your average cost balances out in your favor. This reduces risk and builds discipline, which beginners often struggle to maintain. Let me give you a simple real life example to understand this better. Think about someone earning a modest income with limited savings initially. They decide to invest a small portion every month without skipping. At first, it feels slow, almost like nothing significant is happening financially. But after a year, something interesting begins to take shape gradually. Their portfolio starts growing, not just from contributions, but from compounding returns. And this is where the magic of investing truly begins to appear. Compounding means your money starts earning money on top of itself. So your initial investments generate returns, and those returns generate even more over time. This creates exponential growth rather than slow linear progress. This is why starting early matters more than investing large amounts later, because time is the most powerful tool in any investor's journey, and consistency allows you to fully take advantage of their time. Now, here's something most beginners misunderstand about this strategy initially. They think small investments won't make a meaningful difference long term, but that belief ignores the power of discipline. Combined with time, even small amounts can grow into significant wealth when invested consistently. What matters most is not how much you start with today. What matters is how consistently you continue, regardless of external circumstances. Markets will rise, fall, and create uncertainty along your journey ahead, but your strategy should remain stable, even when emotions try to interfere, because emotional decisions often lead to poor financial outcomes and regret. Consistency removes emotions and replaces them with a structured investment approach. That structure builds confidence and helps you stay committed long term. Now imagine following this strategy for 5, 10, even 20 years. The results would look completely different from someone who invested randomly. Random investing creates chaos, while consistent investing builds predictable growth patterns, and predictable growth gives you control over your financial future eventually. This strategy is especially powerful for beginners because it requires minimal experience. You don't need advanced knowledge, just commitment and a clear investment plan. Start small, stay consistent, and let time do most of the work. That's the foundation of building wealth without unnecessary stress or confusion. But here's where things start getting even more interesting moving forward, because consistency alone is not enough to maximize your full potential. You also need to choose the right places to invest your money. Not all investments are created equal, especially for beginners starting out. Some carry higher risks, while others offer more stability and long-term growth. Understanding this difference will shape the direction of your financial journey. And this leads us directly into the second powerful strategy you must know, a strategy that helps you grow while protecting yourself from major losses. Because smart investing is not just about making money quickly, it's also about protecting what you've worked hard to build consistently. Let's now uncover the second strategy that transforms how beginners manage risk. Now, here's the twist that most beginners never realize until it's too late. Investing is not just about growing money, it's about managing risk wisely. And this is where the second strategy completely shifts your perspective. It's called diversification, and it protects you when things don't go planned. Most beginners make the mistake of putting everything into one investment. They believe one good choice will solve all their financial problems instantly. But what happens when that single investment suddenly starts losing value? Panic sets in, confidence disappears, and decisions become emotional and rushed. This is how many beginners lose money even with good intentions initially, because they rely on hope instead of building a balanced investment approach. Diversification means spreading your money across different types of investments carefully. So instead of relying on one, you create multiple sources of growth. For example, you might invest in stocks, bonds, and index funds together. Each one behaves differently depending on market conditions and economic changes. When one struggles, another may perform better and balance your overall portfolio. This reduces risk without completely sacrificing your potential for long-term growth. Think of it like building a strong team instead of relying on one player. If one player has a bad day, the team still performs well. But if everything depends on one, failure becomes much more likely. The same principle applies directly to your investment decisions and strategy. Now, here's the deeper insight that truly changes how you think. Diversification is not about avoiding losses completely, because losses will happen. It's about controlling how much those losses can affect your overall portfolio. That control is what gives you confidence during uncertain market conditions, because markets are unpredictable, but your strategy should not be unstable. And diversification creates that stability even when external factors create chaos. Now, imagine two beginners starting their investment journey at the same time. One invests everything investing into a single trending stock, hoping for fast gains. The other spreads investments across different assets with a long-term vision. A market drop happens suddenly, affecting certain sectors more than others. The first investor sees massive losses and feels overwhelmed by fear. The second investor experiences a smaller impact and remains calm and focused. Who do you think will continue investing confidently after this experience? Exactly, the one who built protection into their strategy from the beginning. This is why diversification is often called the golden rule of investing. It doesn't guarantee profits, but it significantly reduces unnecessary risks. And for beginners, reducing risk is just as important as making profits, because losing confidence early can stop your investment journey completely. Now, here's another important layer that many people overlook entirely. Diversification also teaches patience and prevents you from chasing quick profits. You stop reacting to every market trend and focus on steady growth. This mindset shift is what separates long-term investors from short-term gamblers, because investing is not about excitement, it's about consistency and control. And diversification supports both by creating balance in your financial decisions. But here's where things get even more interesting as we move forward. Even with diversification, many beginners still struggle to achieve real growth, not because the strategy is wrong, but because something is missing, something deeper that influences every decision you make about money. And without understanding it, even the best strategies can fail over time. This is the hidden factor that determines whether you succeed or struggle. It's not about knowledge, tools, or even starting capital initially. It's about something much more personal and often completely ignored. And once you understand it, your entire approach to investing transforms completely. This is where the final strategy comes in with powerful impact. Let's now uncover the third strategy that most people underestimate completely. The third strategy is where everything you've learned finally comes together. It is called long-term mindset investing, and it changes everything completely. Most beginners fail not because of strategy, but because of mindset. They expect fast results, quick profits, and instant financial transformation, but real investing works slowly, quietly, and often invisibly at first. This is where patience becomes more valuable than any technical knowledge, because markets reward those who stay consistent through uncertainty and time, and punish those who constantly jump in and out emotionally. Long-term mindset means you think in years, not in days or weeks. You stop reacting to daily market noise and focus on a long-term growth. Imagine planting a tree today and expecting shade tomorrow immediately. That expectation sounds unrealistic, yet many investors behave exactly like this. They invest today and panic when results don't appear instantly. But wealth building is not an overnight process. It's a journey that rewards patience, discipline, and emotional control consistently. Now let's look at why this mindset is so powerful practically. When markets fall, beginners with short-term thinking panic and sell quickly, but long-term investors often see those moments as buying opportunities instead, because they understand that temporary declines are part of market cycles, and every cycle eventually moves toward recovery and long-term growth again. This perspective completely changes how you react to financial uncertainty. Instead of fear, you develop calmness and strategic thinking over time, and that emotional stability becomes your greatest investment advantage eventually. Now think about someone who invested for just quick short-term gains. They constantly check prices, stress over fluctuations, and make emotional decisions. Their journey becomes stressful, inconsistent, and often filled with regret later. Now compare that to someone investing for long-term wealth creation. They rarely check daily movements and focus on long-term goals instead. Their investments grow quietly in the background without constant interference, and this difference alone separates successful investors from struggling beginners significantly. But here's the deeper truth most people never fully understand early. Timing the market always beats timing the market repeatedly, because no one can consistently predict short-term movements accurately every time, but everyone can control how long they stay invested patiently, and that control is what builds real financial stability over years. Long-term thinking also reduces stress and improves decision-making quality overall. You stop chasing trends and start focusing on solid, proven strategies, and that shift alone protects you from countless financial mistakes. Now imagine combining all three strategies together in your investment journey. Consistent investing builds discipline and ensures continuous market participation over time. Diversification reduces risk and protects your portfolio from major unexpected losses. Long-term mindset ensures you stay committed even during uncertain financial periods. Together, they form a powerful foundation for beginner investors everywhere, a foundation that supports growth without unnecessary stress or confusion. But understanding these strategies is not enough unless you take action. Knowledge without action leads to missed opportunities, and financial stagnation. The real transformation begins when you apply what you've learned consistently. Even small steps taken today can create massive results later, because every successful investor once started exactly where you are now. The only difference is they chose to begin instead of waiting, and that decision alone changed their entire financial future permanently. You now have the blueprint that many beginners never get access to. What you do next will determine your financial direction moving forward, because opportunity only becomes powerful when it is acted upon immediately. And now it's time to move toward your financial transformation intentionally. Now everything comes down to one simple but powerful decision from you. You can either continue observing or start building your financial future today, because knowledge alone will never change your life unless you act on it. Many people already know what to do, but still never begin investing. Fear, doubt, and confusion often stop them from taking the first step. But every expert investor once faced the exact same fears you feel now. The difference is they decided to move forward despite uncertainty and hesitation, and that decision gradually transformed their financial lives over time completely. You now understand three powerful beginner investment strategies clearly and practically. Consistent investing builds discipline and ensures steady long-term financial growth always. Diversification protects your money and reduces unnecessary risk in unpredictable markets. Long-term mindset helps you stay calm and focused during market fluctuations. Together, these strategies create a strong foundation for financial success ahead. But strategies only work when you apply them with consistency and patience. Without action, even the best financial knowledge becomes completely useless over time. So the real question is no longer what should you do next. The real question is, when will you finally decide to start investing? Waiting for the perfect moment is one of the biggest financial mistakes, because perfect conditions rarely exist in real investing environments anywhere globally. Successful investors learn by doing, not by endlessly waiting for certainty. Every small investment you make today builds your future financial freedom. Even the smallest step forward is better than staying completely inactive. Time will pass regardless, but your decisions determine your financial outcome. You can let time work against you or work strongly in your favor. The choice is always in your hands, and it begins right now. Imagine looking back 5 years from today and seeing consistent growth. That future version of you depends entirely on actions taken today, not tomorrow, not next month, but the moment you start investing, because financial success is built through consistent habits over long periods, not sudden luck, not shortcuts, but discipline and patient execution always. Now take a moment and think about your current financial direction honestly. Are you actively building wealth or simply hoping things will improve someday? Aims and hope without action leads to the same results year after year. But action combined with knowledge creates unstoppable financial progress over time. You already have the roadmap. Now it's time to follow it. Start small, stay consistent, and focus on learning from every step. Mistakes will happen, but they are part of your growth journey. Every investor learns through experience, not through theory alone. Initially, the key is not avoiding mistakes, but learning quickly from them, because growth comes from improvement, not from perfection in investing. So take your first step with confidence, even if it feels small. Small beginnings often lead to the biggest financial transformations later. Your future financial independence depends on decisions you make right now, and there is no better time than the present moment to start. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to begin. Start learning, start investing, and start building your financial foundation today, because every great investor once stood exactly where you are standing now, but they chose action over fear, consistency over confusion, and patience over doubt, and that is what created their long-term financial success and freedom. You now hold the same opportunity in your hands today. The only thing left is your decision to move forward confidently. Let this be the moment where your financial journey truly begins. Not someday in the future, but starting from right now onward. Your financial transformation begins with a single decision made today, and that decision can change your entire life if you commit fully.